Hey guys, I've been playing a lot of Path of Exile. I've got like 600 hours in it, and I'm still really bad at it. So these are a bunch of my characters. I've made this Necromancer my first league. I don't know what league that was, but I did the Summon Flaming Skulls, then I tried to make my own build, and it completely didn't work at all because I didn't know anything about the game. I've also made this, this was a Herald, Blade Vortex build, and that went really well. Me and my buddy ran the same build that league, and I believe that was Incursion League. We got up to level 92 before we stopped playing. And then just last league I made after this one I made this Double Trouble Chops, which is a block lacerate gladiator. And it was doing pretty well, I just didn't really like the playstyle. And then I've also made this, what was this, Volatile Dead Spellslinger. I made that just last league, and that was really fun, but I just didn't have enough time to play it all the way through. But this league I've really been playing it a lot, and actually killing Shaper and trying to kill Sirius, and definitely killing Uber Shaper as well. So I've made this Carrion Golem Necromancer with a couple other minions as well, so I thought I'd show you guys what I'm working with here. The loading times are fantastic today. So I've also made this hideout here. It's changed. I've had it for about 3 characters, but just this league, of course, I've changed it a bunch. I added all this grass and vegetation down here. I'll probably be getting that Shaper hideout eventually once I can farm up Uber Shaper enough. Hopefully we'll get it to drop this league. But yeah, as you can see, I've got the 5 Carrion Golems. I should have 3 Spectres here, so I have all kinds of auras as well. Right. So I've got the 5 Golems, the 3 Spectres, 8 Zombies, and the Animate Guardian. Of course, I started this build following the Path of Building guide. That channel, I've followed a lot of their videos for some of my gear, but this league I've been branching out and trying to find some other things that will suit it a little better. Like obviously he doesn't recommend this belt, so I just put Aspect of the Spider here on my ring. That beast is actually pretty cheap to grab if you need to craft it on anything else like your boots or your ring. I bought the beast for only like 20 chaos. But yeah, a lot of my gear is really expensive. Of course, I did start this league as a mage skeleton summoner, and I respect into this Carrion Golem. So I've already sold through a lot of my gear for that. I had, all kinds of skeleton gear. I don't think I have any of it left, but I even had bought a Stygian Vise with 2 health rolls. You had your flat health and your percent health, but that's all sold now. And a lot of +1 to skeleton gear. I had spent a couple exalts on that stuff, but now that's all sold. I've got this new gear. I bought this 6-link chevrons for about 4 exalts. Got this circlet for about 18. It already had the enchant with the Carrion Golems and 40%. The 18 exalts on that one. And of course the nearby enemies take 9% increased physical. Got some boots with about 180 shield on them, some move speed. These gloves got about 241, which is great for our shield. Now, the 6,000 shield isn't too bad. Since we have the Torrent's Reclamation, it actually recharges pretty fast, as well as having the Val Discipline. Whenever that's up, we can just pop that and we'll stay alive, usually if we're getting hit a lot. And you'll notice, of course, I don't have the health flask on my bar here because of the reserved health. So mostly we're just using the shield. We've got a bunch of mana and health reserved for all our auras. We're just running those here in the build. Of course, we've got the Prism Guardian Shield to give +2 to the level of aura socketed gems, and the Clay Shaper for an extra golem, as well as a little bit of minion life. And even on the tree here, I've spent a decent amount of exalts just on the cluster jewels that we got. Not to mention the Animus Stone. But we've got a bunch of the golem summoning unique jewels. So we got all unique jewels actually. We've got the energy shield here, Fortress Covenant, which of course we don't get the notable passives are transformed into the minions take increased damage, because we got that here in the cluster jewel. So it's a pretty good build, good way to take advantage of these cluster jewel slots. We've got 2 large cluster jewels, which all have Rotten Claws, Call to the Slaughter, and Renewal on both of them. And then we've got 4 more small, or actually medium, cluster jewels. And we've got First Among Equals and Pure Aptitude in this one. Now this is just reduces the mana reservation for Purity of Lightning, and we get a bigger increased effect from our auras on these First Among Equals. Now the rest of these all have First Among Equals as well, but they've also got the Replenishing Presence, which also increases the effect of auras and gives us and our allies a little bit more life per second, on top of our Divergent Vitality. And as far as the Path of Building guide, I changed this one a bit. Watching a Vikton video, I feel like his builds are a little bit more cohesive, and I might start following those a little bit more now. He, of course, recommended this node, which is really keeping my minions alive, as well as having the Torrent's Reclamation and the... Oh, that's right, we're going to have to summon the Harbinger every time we come back in the game. You got to resummon Harbinger. Now this is from your belt. This is an immortal minion that grants you all increased action and move speed. But every minion that the Carrion Golems have close to them is going to buff their damage. So yeah, they've all got about 42k health, and they can die every once in a while, but I've noticed ever since getting my Animate Guardian up, which also buffs everybody with Fortify because he's got the Kingmaker, really is boosting the survivability for my minions. Of course, you got the Spectres and Zombies dying every once in a while as well. But as long as our Animate Guardian doesn't die, we should be great, because of course I've also invested about 3 Exalt in that, with the Shrieking Mask, so about 2.3, and the Kingmaker was about 0.7 Exalt. And he's only got 55k health, but I've noticed he's surviving pretty well. So of course we were trying to sell through a lot. Made a couple of big sales this league. Of course, traded in the unique rings for the Lore Weave. Managed to 6-link this one. Also managed to 6-link this from a Uber Shaper drop. I still have quite a few fusings and jewelers to transform to fusings. Right now we're only sitting on about 4 exalts and a little bit of chaos. I usually try to spend it fast, invest it back into my build. Of course, we got the unset rings with a lot of strength and dexterity, because we need that to run all our auras at max level. And the only things I'm going to be looking for now are some better Awakened gems, or Divergent or Anomalous gems for our auras, as well as possibly some rings that have +2 to socketed gems, so we can get that boost on our rings. But other than that, this build is pretty much all fleshed out. I think a lot of people have seen these Aura Stacker Carrion Golem Summoners, and I believe I was hearing that it was really strong in Heist League, but now it is not so much. I guess they got a little bit of a nerf, so it is still really, really strong though. I usually like to re-roll these maps until I get a ideally 80% item quantity. As long as it doesn't have monsters reflect physical, we should be okay. Sometimes I'll throw some sacrifices in there to increase the quantity, and every now and then we'll throw a couple of scarabs in there. I'll just showcase a little bit how this build run through maps. Of course, we're not running the Taste of Hate anymore. I noticed that I was actually freezing a lot using that, so I've switched over to an Amethyst Flask to boost the resistances. Of course, we're already sitting really high up on resistances with the auras, and we've got, of course, got a little bit here on our gear. Not much on the gloves, but really the auras will max out our resistances, all we really need. And the 22 to Chaos Res is definitely buffed when we pop the flask. 24 to Chaos Res. Should be buffed, I didn't see it get buffed. I don't know. But you can see mostly our whole team here just kind of annihilates everything. We've got the Carnage Chieftains, the Host Chieftains for the Spectres. If I can, when I get in a map with Sea Witches inhabiting it, I'll try to find a Mervil's Retainer, I think is what it's called, and that'll boost our damage because enemies will take more increased physical damage.
When I'm ready, and not before.
But every now and then I'll pop the Convocation here. We got a 21-23 Convocation to drop in one of the maps, so I can pop it pretty quickly along with the Torrent's Reclamation cooldown increase, so it's kind of like just summoning them. And this build runs a whole lot smoother than the Mage Skeletons. It's really a build to go for. It'll take a lot for them to nerf this if they want to ever nerf the Carrion Golem builds. Oh. Okay, yeah, sometimes the harvest can be a little bit crazy. Unfortunately, we gotta get all our auras back up. Okay. Of course, we got the Val Haste to increase our attack speed on the golems. We really need to kill stuff. You'll notice I'm convocating all the minions to me every once in a while to make sure they stay alive. Of course, that puts a little life regen on them. Looks like there's still a minion around here somewhere. Or a monster.
when I'm ready and not before.
Let's see. Now with the harvest crafts, I obviously like haven't gotten super into crafting, but trying to figure it out. So, yeah, you kind of get an idea of what we're dealing with. We won't go for that last drop here in the harvest, just so I can show you guys more of the build in action. This is just one of the many different games I like to play. But recently it's just been all Path. Pretty good RPG, I'd have to say. So we got the Elder map here in our Zana. We're gonna have to go for that. Of course, since we're farming the Uber Elder fight. Trying to get a Watcher's Eye with the 3 mods on it, so. Now we have gotten one Watcher's Eye to drop in a regular Shaper battle. But since then we've killed Shaper a couple times and no Watcher's Eyes.
Not before.
Now when I say we, I've been playing with my buddy. He was running Ice Nova Hierophant, and he made a Bleed Bow Gladiator build. Now he's got some kind of defensive Aura stacking build. I think it's a Guardian build. And I forgot to buy the rituals a lot. I'll hop out of a map and into a new one, and as soon as I'm in that map, I'm like, wait, did I buy the ritual? But of course, I've only gotten a couple exalts from buying. More than often, I'll just get that 2 chaos or a couple coolers. I haven't seen any really good uniques in there. A while back, I did get one unique that was sold for almost an exalt, about 70C. You can see even here in the tier 16 we're really not having any issues, but obviously with that harvest earlier things can still one-shot us, so could be viable for hardcore. I really don't know. I'm gonna tell you here. I have not played enough of the game, but you can stay pretty safe running a build like this. So. It's definitely the strongest summer kind of build with the golems. You don't even have to worry about trying to kill that boss.
And not before.
You can see on our minions' health bars, a lot of them are really having no problem tanking any of this damage, especially with the Fortify and Vitality buff still on it. Let's see what's in here real quick. All the fusings. So as you can see, you know, we really don't get anything that good from running the ritual, but it's good to run it every time because sometimes you do get something pretty good, like an Exalted Orb, of course. So just take all the fusings out of there. Usually, currency is the best thing to grab out of it. But every now and then you'll come across a weapon that's pretty good. I did see on the Reddit somebody had a headhunter in his ritual next to an Exalted Orb. That's kind of crazy. We'll have to see the build here in action against the Elder Guardian. Of course, I believe for me, this is one of the easier Elder Guardians, but we don't die after I say that, so. Doesn't have a whole lot of AoE, and even his single target arrow won't one-shot me. Even though I only have the 6,000, so. Ooh. Yeah, since that was in the Xana map, we don't get the Atlas bonus for having 2 of them spawn with the additional Guardian. When I run regular Guardian maps, either Shaper or Elder, I can get a second one to spawn, and that makes the fight quite a bit harder. But you can also have a chance to get 2 fragments. So. And this league started about mid-January. It's already almost mid-February, so we've been playing this for about 4 weeks, and you can already tell the market has, you know, gone down. A lot of stuff is a little bit less expensive. It's changed a bit. For a long time, the Exalted Orbs were around 80 chaos, and now they're 100, but it's pretty clear just based on my cell tab, just how few people are playing. because I'm just not selling things quite as fast, especially even when I went to sell maps the other day compared to 2 weeks ago. It was nothing like selling maps just a while back. So that's pretty much it. I would just show you guys the Path of Exile game here. And just a little showcase of how the Carrion Golem Aura Stacker build runs. Alright. Thanks, guys.